Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Nice to see a group of folks in this evening. Could I ask you to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic of the nation, Thank you very much again for coming out. We appreciate it. All council members are here as well as the mayor. Thanks very much. And I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a second? Thank you, Sam. Are there any amendments, proposed amendments to the agenda? There is one. We were asked, Kyle and I were asked this afternoon to move item 12C, which is the a bid on the 115 North Broad Street, the former police station, to Wednesday's agenda. Mr. Bosley cannot be here this evening and would very much like to be part of the discussion. Are there any more amendments or suggestions? With that, Julie, can you accept an amendment to your motion?
I'll accept the amendment.
And Sam? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Get right into the reports. Mr. Manager, Kyle?
Sure, thank you. I'll provide a couple updates here. April 7th will be our first Leaf Day, leaf bag pickup of the year, and then it continues each month thereafter through the end of the year. We've had some issues with our water and sewer billing processes, so those are being changed. The next bill, those processes are being changed. The next bill will come out April 1st. We are looking into a couple options for the upcoming CRP grant, which is the county's one of their main infrastructure grants. We haven't been able to apply in about a year because we had a few of them already in motion. So we've gotten through at least one, so we'll be able to go for that. That'll probably be up next month. I wanted to highlight a couple new efforts from our code enforcement planning zoning function. They've made our forms and payments online, which is a pretty significant improvement. Of course, if you ever want to come into Borough Hall, you're welcome to do that. They've also taken an effort to essentially give it a nicer entryway into code violations. So we often get complaints from one neighbor to another. Instead of just giving a violation, they've really sort of reworked the way of doing it, and they're going to start with a conversation, and they still have the ability to ticket and fine thereafter. So it's a really good effort by Alexi and her team. I wanted to announce another clean audit, which is credit to Nick. This is about a dozen years now, obviously going back before many of us, but it was Nick's first as fully under his time as finance director. So it's great work. Tax bills are going out this week. And same as last year, we allow for a payment plan. So you can make 3 equal installments. If you pay early, as always, you get a 2% discount. And then lastly, we're continuing to do tours and take offers for 600 South Broad. John sent us one, which is appreciated. So if anyone in the public has those people that are interested or are looking for space, obviously send them our way. Thanks.
Thank you, Kyle. Please.
So Kyle, you mentioned the leaf bag pickups won't start till April. I've noticed some of the neighbors have been bagging their leaves already, so some big piles are starting.
If you just let us know where they are, we can make contact with those people.
Lincoln.
Okay.
If you send a note into help@kennettsq.org, that's the best way to get anything done with the borough. They'll always respond to that, get right back to you. help@kennettsq.org.
That's right. Thank you.
Mike, solicitor.
Sure. So for the O'Hara land use appeal, this is the appeal from the zoning hearing board decision on the 1 accessory dwelling unit. That's up before the Chester County Court of Common Pleas. We just got notice last week that the court hasn't decided it yet, but the court set an argument date for early June, June 6th. So we expect some sort of a decision within 60 days after that.
And what's the topic of the decision?
That's the appeal from the variance denial by the zoning hearing board on the accessory dwelling unit. Correct, yep.
Thank you. Chief Ellsworth.
Hi, good evening. So this morning, the statistical information for February was submitted to you. I don't have anything else to add to that specific report. If there's any questions, happy to answer anything. The only other thing I would like to add is we are going to be announcing a ribbon cutting event for the new police department and Common Borough Lobby. It's going to take place next Thursday April 10th, Thursday from 3 to 5 p.m. We have some special guests that are going to be coming. Senator Kane's going to be coming to speak. Representative Christina Sappi will be here. Marianne Moskowitz, the Vice Chair of the Board of Commissioners, Chester County, will be here. Our own mayor will address the audience, and our Vice President Kathleen Kakamo will also say a couple of words. We look forward to everybody. We're going to be pushing this information out within the next day or so out through social media.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for the chief?
A question, Chief. In the report, there was a pretty substantial uptick in foot patrols on State Street. Any reason why in particular?
Just more proactivity of the officers, and also just to continue with our community policing model and mentality of engaging with the residents, the businesses, whatnot. So that's all that was from.
Yeah, great to see it. Great to see them out where people can say hello.
Thank you.
Any brief public questions specifically for the chief regarding policing affairs? Your name and if you wouldn't stand up to go to the mic and. But Bill, there's people that are on the video. Thank you.
Any new news on 606? House Record 606?
I'm pretty sure solicitor kind of informed us on that is not moving forward as of right now.
Have we gotten our representative interested again?
Have we reached out to them? No, we have not.
Why not?
I guess I would ask, have you reached out as well?
I will,
Okay.
if you want me to.
No, please. I think the more, especially from the public that does, the more important and more impactful will be.
Okay. I'll take it on as a duty
It's referenced the use of of radar in Pennsylvania.
in municipalities. The state police have all but 119 small municipalities under their control, and they don't want to leave it up.
Bill, anything else?
That's it right now.
Thank you very much. Any other public? Quick question, comment? I don't see any. Please, microphone, your name and your address.
Hi, Judith Bennis. I live at 310 North Broad Street. And somebody just mentioned, oh, sorry. I should probably stand back.
You
can
adjust.
The,
Push it down. There you go.
okay. I would like to address the solicitor, if I may. You talked about an ADU on South Broad or North Broad?
I don't have the exact address memorized. It's the O'Hara property. That's
Oh,
all I-
okay. So it's not my house. That's all I want to know.
No. Thank you. Is that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Thank you. Unless there's any, John, did you have something to say? Ken, would you mind handing the mic to John? Specific to police now this is. Related to the ADU discussion or for later on? Okay.
John Thomas, 406 South Broad. I would like to know why, and I wasn't here, you guys voted to redo the contract on the old borough building. It made no sense to me at all.
Oh, so the borough, we explained this at the meeting. I think maybe you weren't here. The borough didn't redo any contract. The deed that was prepared by the title company back when it was done had the incorrect name for the folks who are getting it. Instead of 120 or 1120 Marshall Street LLC, they put it in at the county as 1120 Marshall left off the street. So it was just.
But why
a
did
deed of
they
correction.
come back to you, us,
Because
a year later?
So to do a deed of correction, they needed the borough to sign off to make sure there was a clear record at the county of the deed transfer.
Thanks, John. I don't see anyone from Longwood Garden, from Longwood Fire and EMS. Is there anyone representing them? Let's get into the committee reports. Actually, first, I'd like to ask Councilwoman Ellie if she wouldn't mind sharing a couple of key points.
Sure. So the first thing is that I've scheduled a meeting with the county commissioners. Kyle and I are going to attend. The agenda is just 2 items. One is just to talk about county support for fire and EMS. And the second thing is to tell them about our vision for Borough Hall as a community space and see if there are any potential county users. It's not a public meeting, so we can't all go, but if council members want to go, they should contact me. So 2 other people besides me could go if you're interested. It is April 3rd at 11:30 to 12:30. And then the second thing comes from Infrastructure and Public Works. We recently updated our easement agreement with Herb and Barb Richards, who own the land where our well on North Walnut is located. And that easement is going to allow us to build the new water treatment facility that we have a grant for. That land was once part of a farm that was owned by Barb Richards' family, the Simpers. And in consideration of that, I'd like to suggest a motion that we rename the well in honor of the Simpers. So instead of it being the North Walnut Well, it would be the Simpers Well. So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Council discussion. Mike, is all appropriate in terms of being able to do that ad hoc? Okay. Terrific. Rob, brief comment?
How to get it, the well was not going, or the treatment center was not going to go in without this amendment to the easement. So I really appreciate Herb and Barb accommodating us.
Very
Are the
generous.
Richards here tonight?
No.
We'd like to thank them.
Absolutely. Very, very generous.
Yes,
Kathleen?
This treatment
it's a treatment plant for the
plant
water.
will make our water softer and kinder.
Yes, it will.
Any other council comment?
We vote on that?
Public comment. Please grab a mic, or would you pass the microphone over?
One of the things I'm concerned about is this is the
Ms.
first
Watson,
time-
just for the record and for other folks,
Name and address.
Charlotte Watson, 523 Magnolia Street.
thank you.
Mr. Grubb should have said his name and John should have said his. Or the rest of the people talking should have said their address.
Please go ahead.
John didn't say it. Anyhow, I'm counting backwards for 10 if you want to know. Don't let me go further than that because it'll be hell up here. This is the first time we're hearing about a treatment plant. In this meeting here, at a well out of the Simpers, I know that area well. Excuse me, I don't mean to say it like that, but I know it well because I lived on Walnut Street. I know this is Mr. Simper's daughter. I know the proper Squire Simpers too, that you wouldn't even know. That's what he used to be called, the father. But the bottom line is that doesn't even lay in our area. Nowhere near the borough. So why are you doing anything with it? And you haven't explained it up here, so that's why I know you haven't explained it, because that's way past Cannon Township. Might be in East Marlboro. I know
think-
damn well it is.
It is in East Marlboro.
I know, hey, I know the area. You
And
don't have to
we-
tell me.
And we own the 4 acres that the.
We just got it.
No.
We didn't know nothing up there, Rob. We didn't earn
1950.
nothing up there. I don't want to argue about it.
1952.
But how's this well come into fruition? Who's paying for it? Who's going to benefit from it? Because now you're talking about purifying something and there's money that goes with that stuff. You think you can just lazily say nouns and adjectives up here without putting any proof in the pudding? We want some proof in the pudding.
Thank you for your comment. Juan, would you mind grabbing that mic? Rob, I think the borough has owned it for how long?
The borough has owned it
Thanks, Juan.
the borough's owned it since 1952. The well was established in 1956.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Thank you very much. And Ellie, why don't you keep going with the Infrastructure Committee and the Community Relations, if you don't mind?
Sure. So infrastructure met this month. We discussed the EPA's new requirements to survey our system. The survey didn't go very well, so we were just brainstorming ideas to get that information. One idea was to do that as part of transfer and rental inspections. I don't know if the staff talked about that. That was just an idea that came up in the meeting. So that's it for infrastructure. And then the HRC, the Human Relations Commission, has 2 people whose terms are expiring. So they're working on interviewing potential replacements. And there's like a meeting in April to actually do the votes to have the who they want to recommend to council for that. That's it.
Thank you very much. Joel, Finance?
Yes, Finance Committee met on February 20th. The January minutes and bills were reviewed and approved. We still have one more month to finalize our 2024 numbers. And we began discussing the 2025 year as it is only 1 month in, so not a whole lot going on, but we will be approving the bills later this meeting, well, on Wednesday rather.
Thanks, Joel. Timothy, Kathleen, Development?
Barb did not meet this month. There's nothing in front of them, and the Planning Commission was still working on definitions for the ADU, and that's coming again.
Thank you very much. And Julie, Community Development?
There wasn't really an update to share this month. We did meet with the Brandywine Conservancy team, but just to still brainstorm ideas. No real update there.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor, Public Safety?
For public safety, the majority of our meeting was spent on the special event applications, so we'll review those when they come up on the agenda.
Okay, thanks. Ellie, I missed you on Fire and EMS Commission. Anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I attended the meeting as a member of the public on February 11th. They had a long discussion about making the administrator position a part-time position, but they actually didn't come to a decision still on that. They also discussed the volunteer incentives, which they've now capped at 250,000 last year. And on a positive note, AJ announced that the fire chief announced that reporting has been consolidated between the 3 fire companies. So going forward, when we get their report, it will be a consolidated report. We won't have to look across the 3 different fire companies, which should be great. That's it.
Thank you. Staff Support Development, Sam?
Staff support and development met on Wednesday, February 19th. We are consistently trying to meet on the 3rd Wednesday now, just so that everybody knows. Rachel's kind enough to put that on the calendar for us. This past meeting, we did discuss updating some HR policies that we're continuing to work on to try to streamline several things across staff.
Thank you very much. Matt, anything from the mayor's office?
Yes, 2 things. One is I'd like to just give a quick update on the Ford Fly situation. We've gotten some really good additional news regarding 2 products that should be available for use probably maybe by the end of April. Both of these products were tracked to be approved by the EPA in 2027. And thankfully, due to our emergency declaration and support from the governor, they have been moved from the EPA for nationwide approval to the EPA of the state, so of the Commonwealth, for local use approval. And we may see approval within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we're hoping that potentially by mid-April, we will see another 2 products. One of them does, the big question we always get is, what about an insecticide? One of them does have an insecticide with it. So that would be the first time that there would be an insecticide approved for use since 2012. So that's a good step in the right direction. We are hoping to host a significant roundtable discussion at the end of March, beginning of April, that will bring the manufacturers of 4 different products together, members from the growers and some residents to really dig into all the different options. So as we move into the growing season, we'll be looking at all the different tools that may become available. And as well, we're looking at a residential product for the first time. So we're included the residential product in with the local use approval. And just as a side note, this is not a brand new chemical without any type of track record. It has been approved for different uses for, I believe, 25 years, which is one of the reasons why they have enough data to be able to fast track it. So I'm looking forward to more information on that. 2 Fridays ago, we held a small immigration roundtable. It was with a couple of elected officials, the school superintendent, the chief of police was there, along with our congresswoman, to understand processes, things that are coming up, share our ideas and concerns, hear about how we access information. One of the questions that we get frequently is after somebody is arrested is, where did they go? How do we find out? How do we, connect a family? And so we've been able to receive some of that information so that we can disseminate it to folks. We talked about things like intermunicipally, how we can manage rumors. You hear a lot of times immediately when folks see immigration enforcement in the area, people start to post things on social media. How do we share enough information that combats any rumors on what's happening? So it was a good roundtable of information. We're looking to do another one within the next 4 weeks with Senator Fetterman. So that's on the books, and we're going to continue to switch up the nonprofits that can attend. We had a hard limit of 12 people to attend that meeting. And I forgot to mention, there were 2 municipal managers were there, as well as the school superintendent, if I didn't say that. So we intend to hold more, and really it's an idea exchange, right? We can't change federal law. We can't do that, but how do we work together and collaborate to share information? So I thought that was well attended, and we enjoyed it, sharing the information. And then lastly, I attended Congresswoman Houlihan's State of the Sixth event that she held, which was her annual town hall where she talks about legislation that she's working on and things like that. So that was very informative as well. You can go to her website to get the PowerPoint from that if you would like. So busy February.
Thank you. From my perspective, just a couple of things to share. Number 1 is that the 600 South Broad Street property, this property task force has been fairly busy, certainly led by Sonny and a lot of the work that he's doing, but also Kyle, Bill, Matt, and myself. By the end of March, we're planning to have exterior lighting around the building, not just the new end of the building. So when you come to a meeting like this, that you'll be able to see and walk around safely. Also, the exterior signage should be changed, as well as some interior directional signage as well. Those are priorities. We're also looking to investigate whether we can and should, and what it would cost to do a South Union entrance into the complexes as well. Also cleaning up the building. There's a lot of sore spots in places that just need a little bit of elbow grease that we're taking care of. And certainly aggressively looking for other folks to rent and or buy portions of the building. Also looking at the feasibility and the cost of moving the administrative staff, the non-police staff, from the 2nd floor to the 1st floor, sort of the center of the building, to have them first adjacent so that all the staff are in the same areas of the building, along with the new reception area that we have. If you come into the building now, you probably saw that there's 3 reception areas, one for the police and any police matters, one for just general administrative matters, Olga, and then Esther for anything related to zoning and codes and permits and that sort of thing. So that's sort of the face of the borough. And then we'd have all of the second floor to rent or sell potentially, as well as about a third of the first floor in the outbuildings. And also certainly looking hard at the capital repairs and reserves that we have for this building over the longer term. And then secondly, wanted to share, we had another informal get-together between 4 elected people from East Marlboro, New Garden, and Kennett Township and myself, just to literally share best practices and what are we doing right together, and is there anywhere we can learn to help each other out? Are there efficiencies? If you need a backhoe or a plow and we've got one, we're not using it, are there things like that that we could be doing more commonly for the mutual benefit? We're also planning a thank you for our volunteers and folks that have done so much, some of which are here tonight, to the community, just to say thanks for helping the borough and its residents out. With that, let's get into the discussion items. The first is the 2025 marker calendars, September 5th, 6th, and 7th of 2025. Gina, would you like to say anything?
I can. It's our 40th anniversary this year.
Do you mind grabbing the mic and just saying where you're from?
Where I'm from. I've lived in Canada all my life. Yes, Gina Pucci, 603 Cypress Street. It's our 40th anniversary this year, so we're going to try to do some different things than we've done in the past, which didn't come with this application, but there will be a parade on Thursday if you approve it. And it's really, like Matt said at the last meeting, it's a well-oiled machine. So we'll just keep moving the way we are.
Gina, is the parade on this? This is 5th, 6th, and 7th.
It's going to be a separate application.
Okay.
Kennett Collaborative that is actually going to do the parade.
Oh, wow.
for us.
Okay.
We're just all way too busy Thursday. Yeah. So that application will come through at next month's safety meeting.
Thank you.
Sure.
Council, comment, discussion?
Public Safety recommended approving the application as presented.
Thank you. Great event. It's the premier, the landmark event for Kennett Square, at least in my opinion. I'm sure lots and lots of others. So thank you to yourself and the committee that works tirelessly to get this done for the benefit of lots and lots of folks and organizations. Public comment related to this item? Gina, would you mind passing the microphone to John?
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. I
Don't worry.
drool like a 2-year-old and I fall like a 1-year-old. I got Parkinson's disease.
God bless you, John.
Yeah, it says here it's gonna cost money. Every other year, the festival paid for it.
They do.
They do.
All right, well, I mean, I'm just looking here. Financial impact. All right, I mean, as long as, you know.
Yep.
Because I know Kathy always made sure. Hey,
Yep.
I got you.
We don't,
Thank you.
we don't need Kathy to do it.
Any other comment related to this item?
Just a reminder that they give back to the surrounding community in grants, which your grant fund is open right now.
Correct. Yep, it's open until the 5th.
Is there any objection to putting this on the Wednesday evening consent agenda? Thank you very much. Next item is consider the Cinco de Mayo Festival. Is there a representative here this evening? Mr. Mayor, Safety Committee?
Sure. This year for Cinco de Mayo, they are going to move the event, or the request is to move the event down here to Borough Hall. So there won't be any closing of State Street. Other than that, and they're looking at doing a more scaled back event. So the number of vendors are going to be limited so that it works well within this space. But they wanted to get it down here and off of State Street and do something a little bit different this year. And we recommended approval as submitted.
Thank you very much. Any council comment? Public comment? Please.
Troy Thompson, 612 D Street. Just with the Cinco de Mayo last year, personally, there was a lot of concerns around safety, and it wasn't necessarily associated with the borough, but the next area down by McDonald's and so forth, it was kind of a zoo. What extent are we integrating to make sure that we have Southern Chester County Police integrating with our police force? Because I went to Giant, I got to tell you, I got run off the road. We had drag racing right down Cypress. And again, it's more late into the evening, not disparaging this program, what they're doing, but that was a mess.
So I think you're confusing a car event that took place with Cinco de Mayo. It wasn't Cinco de Mayo that actually, yeah, no, well, not even that. There was a car meetup
It
that
was
took
by
place.
big lots. It was all blocked off. You couldn't get to
Yeah, no,
Planet Fitness. You couldn't get to Giant.
That was a pop-up car meet. It had nothing to
Okay.
do with the Cinco de Mayo event.
Okay, so is there integration again with
we-
Southern Chester County?
We have a mutual aid agreement with all of our surrounding departments even throughout Chester County.
Okay,
So we work hand in hand together all the time.
so they have awareness is more of what I'm asking of anything we're doing around that activity.
Around our event here.
Yes.
Um,
Is there transparencies maintained with them? or
So,
is
I
it-
mean, we have regular conversations with them to let them know what activities we have going on. Again, I think
Okay.
you're kind of confusing two different things.
I don't think I am. I think what happens is different things spawn off the events that we have.
I know for a fact because that pop-up car show has happened in multiple locations and it wasn't connected to Cinco de Mayo. There was a pop-up show that happened out in the Longwood Shopping Center. There was another one out there. They've been out in the Oxford Walmart. So we're kind of monitor them and discuss them, between
That's why I
departments.
wanna make sure.
Sure.
because
I just don't want to
it's
label
not-
Cinco de Mayo as being responsible for that.
Again, that's why I'm saying what spawns off of activities we have here oftentimes hits our community.
Sure.
And I just want to make sure police arrangements are being covered off on that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Any other public comment related to this? One, did you?
Quantifoya 301 Michigan Square. In terms of the car shows, they have nothing to do with Cinco de Mayo. As the chief mentioned, these are car shows that just pop out of nowhere. The only car show that was here was at the actually in the Borough Complex during the Youth Fest, which I helped sponsor. But that was a controlled one where we had the police department present and also one of the officers there, just making sure everything was right. That's the only car show that's been here. But as I mentioned, the other ones just pop out of nowhere, which has no connection with Cinco de Mayo or any of their events. They just pop out of nowhere.
I understand that. This is that I'm saying is the stuff that spawns off.
Thanks, Juan.
Make sure that
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Charlotte Watson, 523 Magnolia Street. I didn't know nothing about it to pop up, but people came and told me about it who said it was nice. Are we just getting afraid because the people are unlike us and they're doing a little bit of habits we don't do? Because I got a problem with that. They said it was nice. Are we afraid that we have people, black and brown, congregating? Is that a problem?
We're not getting into a discussion back and forth on this. Is there any objection to putting this on the consent agenda? On the consent agenda, thanks. Youth Expo, also sponsored by Casa Guanajuato. Matt?
This is the Youth Expo. It was well attended last year, and it's also down here at Borough Hall, and it's the same application as last year.
Thank you.
This is in July.
Yes, July 12th. And we recommended approval as submitted.
Any council comment discussion? And any public comment discussion? Please.
Yeah, I'll just give you a brief about that. The Youth Fest, as I mentioned, I sponsored last year. So the main the idea about the event is to get so other organizations like Giant and like those places come down here and hire people. So in order to grab young people's attentions, it was decided to have a car show. So that's how we attracted young people. But it was a great event. Last year we had a lot of success, and there was, as I mentioned, the police department made sure that the controlled cars were there and everything. So yeah, it was a good event, and I appreciate that council approved it. Thank you.
Any objection to putting this on the consent agenda?
No?
Thank you. Kyle, we had back in January, I believe, had some discussion about reserving spaces as especially for events that take over the 600 South Broad Street property and potentially even State Street. I know you guys were looking at a policy to make sure it was fair. I know we've had issues with, the market and the high school's graduation and things like that. Can we ask you guys to share that by next month with council so we can share it with the public as well?
Sure.
That'd be great.
Work with public safety on it.
Of course. Thank you.
We are on our agenda, working with staff on standardizing the application for the use of the facility as well as standard layouts. So anytime there's a stage, it's always in the same place. And so we can plan around staff parking and staff access to the building and things like that. So that'll all go hand in hand.
Thank you. That's great. It's just the popularity of the building in the town. We just want to make sure everyone's got a fair shot at that. And then the last application was for the Hispanic Heritage Month Festival in September 13th. Mr. Mayor?
Yep. September 13th, this is an afternoon event. It's celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, also done by Casa Guanajuato here at 600 South Broad Street. And same thing, no changes from the past. And we recommended approving as submitted.
Thank you. Council? Public? Any objection to putting this on the consent agenda? Thank you very much. Item 12A, consider the approval of advertisements of the ADUs, accessory dwelling units. Again, this is to consider advertising the ADU policy that the Planning Commission and our codes enforcement officers worked on over the past probably 8 months now. This will come back for public comment and for council discussion at a future time. This is just for advertising that. So with that, Kyle, any direction?
Sure. I'll let Lexi and Andy kind of go through. There are local experts here. So basically we have a red line version that'll show, everyone should have gotten it, that'll show what the differences are, what's proposed. And just to reiterate, this is not a vote to approve tonight.
Okay. Lexi?
So staff and PC met to go over
Name
some.
and address?
Oh,
No,
Lexi Gams, Codes Department. I don't live in the borough, sorry. So the staff and PC met to go over some issues that were addressed at last council meeting regarding the definitions of accessory apartments and accessory dwelling units. And there was some overlap and confusion with those two, along with setbacks. So what we're proposing tonight is all the changes we've made in the past, along with the new accessory apartment, accessory dwelling unit, and new setbacks. So I will go over those. And then Mike can fill in with any questions that you guys might have in terms of the ordinance. So accessory apartment, we changed the definition to means a residential living unit incidental to a principal residential dwelling and located within the principal dwelling unit. Each accessory apartment.
Stop now, like, no, I'm just.
Oh, I left my timer running by mistake. Each accessory apartment must have its own sanitary, sleeping, and cooking facilities. So the difference between this definition and the last one is that accessory apartments are strictly defined as apartments within a primary residence. So these are not any apartments that would be in an accessory dwelling unit. So if you put like an addition on your house or rented out a section of your house or the basement, that would be an accessory apartment. Accessory dwelling unit is a residential living unit on the same parcel as a detached single-family primary residential structure in an accessory building and not located within the primary dwelling unit. The ADU shall provide complete and independent living facilities for one or more persons. Example, its own sanitary, sleeping, and cooking facilities. So that is a rentable unit. It's fully independent living with its own kitchen, bedroom, bathroom that can be on top of a garage or its own independent unit, but it is not attached to a primary structure. Those were the two definitions we came up with to separate them from the current ordinance definitions.
And then the other concern was regarding the setbacks. So the current definition or the current ordinance stated that an accessory structure and an accessory dwelling unit had to be 3 feet from the rear and side property lot lines. We adjusted that to an accessory structure other than an accessory dwelling unit shall not be less than 3 feet from the side lot line or the rear lot line. Accessory dwelling units shall not be less than 6 feet from the side lot line or rear lot line. So that's providing an additional 3 feet from the side and rear for additional privacy and safety for homes that are occupied, for accessory units that are occupied. So accessory structures such as garages, sheds, chicken coops, anything that is not does not have a residential aspect to it is only 3 feet from the lot lines. Those are the changes.
Those are the only changes.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Mike or Andy, anything you'd like to add?
Well, other things to point out. One is, the ordinance does, I'm sorry, Andy, I didn't mean to jump on you. The ordinance does limit it to 1 accessory dwelling unit per lot. That can be in addition to accessory apartments that are permitted. We don't necessarily provide a density or a kind of metric for the accessory apartments. But accessory apartments are limited in terms of the square footage that they're permitted. It's 50% of the square foot of the main dwelling, and parking as well. So all these uses are gonna require parking. What we did do for the parking table is they were kind of bounced around between a couple different categories. We consolidated a couple of them down into one. They all have the same parking standard, so the parking standard didn't change. It's still one space per bedroom with a max of 2 bedrooms, so it's spaces for each of those units.
Thank you very much. Andy, anything? The majority of the planning commission of. Okay. Thank you very much. And Rachel, if there are any folks online that would like to ask a question, just keep an eye out for that if you would, please. Council discussion.
Is there any, remind me, because we got this again late, today. Is there anywhere in there where, primary resident needs to be occupied by the owner any length of time?
We did not provide any restrictions on owner occupancy.
So
no.
main building can be rented and the accessory dwelling unit can be rented?
Yes. That would, reason being, we thought that would be too hard to restrict in the future with future sales and maintaining that when they sell the home, it is sold to someone that has to occupy that home and dwelling unit.
Friday might be able to address the legal liabilities of enforcing ownership. This is something that's propped up with short-term rental.
Right. New York City is doing it, so it's not illegal.
It really becomes more of a practical issue in that if you have a structure that's owned by an entity other than a person, or even if you do have one that's owned by a person, hard to prove whether that is living there as a principal structure or not.
Right, and that's one of the issues is a lot of these resales are going to LLCs and not individuals.
That's the other part of that coin, which is tough to regulate from a legal perspective. And if it's an LLC or an LLP or some kind of corporate entity, we under Pennsylvania law can't regulate corporate ownership of property because the courts in the state recognize corporations as people. So they can own property that way, and we have to treat it as such, as strange and awkward as it is. That creates the only kind of.
Hold on 1 second, if you would. Mr. Mayor?
Mike, is that also true for trusts? So if you were to purchase a home in a trust, it would be hard to enforce because you wouldn't, the trust could be for the beneficiaries who may not reside there. Okay, thanks.
Correct, yep.
Council, Mr. Manager?
Is this change going to be for the entire residential zoning And is there any way to limit it to just a certain zone, like, park, as an example?
There are currently no restrictions. Mike, if you don't mind following up about why we did not do that.
I think it was a planning commission decision where it's allowed or not allowed, but right now
Yeah.
the draft is borough-wide, they're permitted wherever there's.
My understanding from sitting in on the meetings was that it was not, we were not able to limit it. So my question is, legally, are we allowed to limit it? if we So choose.
For particular districts? Yeah, we can. It's got to be congruent and consistent with our comp plan and the purpose for those zoning districts, but we could.
If I could ask you not to interrupt, any other council discussion? If you want to take the discussion outside, that's absolutely fine. Any public comment, please? Let's start with Ms. Watson.
Number one, you can't limit. And everybody's done it from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia to major cities. It has to be owner occupied. We're talking about residential districts. We're not talking about fattening the people who've come in this town and bought up everything. And keep doing it under the guise of, oh, this is a mistake, that's a mistake. No, it's got to stop. And you people got to start questioning these people and putting your hammer down. You have to be owner occupied to have an accessory dwelling unit. We set the law. We set the law. Because they have to monitor those rentals and they have to be stationary to do it. They're saying they're a homeowner who wants it. We're not talking about profiting big business. They're either going to have it attached in their house or they're going to have it accessory. And what about the heights? Because the last height you talked about was ridiculous. And I want you to remember, we have zoning already enforced. You cannot let new construction be built under what you're saying here. And remember, alleys with garages. Corner properties have 2 front yards. Did you know that? I'm a corner property. Think about the right-of-ways. Think about the easements and the setbacks. You're destroying the aesthetic value, the safety of our neighborhoods. And you're not paying it any mind for a few men to profit here. And I got a problem with that. And each one of you should have a problem with that. I don't care if you grab each other at the throat, you should have a problem with it. When we talk about the height, was 25 foot, was it?
25 feet, yes.
Yeah, it's only 15 for a garage.
Yes.
You can change that. I'll bet you can change that footage. Don't tell me what you can't do, because when Downingtown was taken to task to court, if the ordinance was there, if it was written well, it stuck because it was the town's law. So let's get it straight. You can ask him all you want. It ain't true. 3 feet from the street. You're not going to let no new construction be built to that. And remember, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the zoning districts. Please represent us, because so far you haven't done it.
Fire away.
I'm having, and I own apartments. I'm having
John
problems
Thomas,
with
South Broad Street.
something called accessory dwelling. If it's an accessory dwelling, it's not an apartment. It's just an accessory because you are an owner. If you're not going to live there, then you got 2 apartments. I don't care what you call it. You can have a house and a 1-bedroom unit and you're making money. It should not be. If you want an in-law suite, that's one thing. Can't even use an in-law suite for a rental after they're gone. I mean, and this parking thing, I have a major problem with the way this council handled those new apartments on State Street. How can you require parking and then let them park on the street because the guys are charging to park in the parking garage. Doesn't make any damn sense. The idea is to keep the streets clear. That's why we have all street parking. They had to build the parking garage. They have all that other parking, yet they're parking all over the street. They're gonna tie it up. There's gonna be accidents. Somebody gonna get killed there one of these days. I had 2 friends killed there when I was younger on that intersection. And believe me, it was not like this. This is a danger. I don't know why you allow those people, it should be open. That's why they got they got enough parking for every apartment unit. That you let them park on the street because they don't want to pay $80 because the guy charges them to park inside. Stupid. That is absolutely stupid. That's his problem, not yours. Accessory dwellings again. Accessory dwelling. I had to buy the lot next door that had a garage and an apartment, but I didn't have enough yard space. Now you're telling me now that I could build more, which is stupid because I'm full. But I could squeeze something else in there if I wanted to, because this new ordinance makes no sense at all. And how can you do it for all zones? All this is doing is helping former councilmen who are wealthy in the north do what they want to do. That's all this is about. Most people can, and our roads cannot handle this anymore. I don't know why. Our roads were designed in 1855. They didn't have cars in it. We keep, and every time somebody builds outside of town, they let all the traffic come into town. Plus what we got, and we don't have enough, our streets are full. We can't afford anymore. So, I mean, you guys got to think about this before you do that.
Thank you. Any other comment? Please grab the microphone.
Thank you. Bill Grubb, 610 West Linden. At the last safety meeting, we brought up a proposal as to how to handle the influx of rentals from the beautiful apartment building that's running down State Street. You were going to look into the agreement as to whether or not they had to have X number of parking spots per habitant. Have you done that?
Could you just let me know how that relates to the ADU question we're talking about right now?
Well, it's the AD unit, okay, is basically that building.
The apartment building?
Yes.
Different types of buildings, or this relates to adding an accessory structure or.
Well, I'll go
living-
with this gentleman right here. I think that you're basically debasing this town by all this new nonsense of ordinances for this and for that and for everything else. I'm a new person here. I came from the country. Okay, I'm now a townie, and that's why I'm taking up some of these things.
Fair enough.
Okay? I went on your website to look up ordinances. Where are they on the website?
Kyle, just,
Where are they? I see ordinance that have to be codified, but
It's
where the
front-
hell are the rest of them?
I think it's front
So that
left
we can
corner.
go in and take a look at them, and now we can then come and speak a lot more fluently about some of the problems that are here in the community.
Bill, if you want to grab Rachel after the meeting, she'll show you where it is on the website.
Are you going to allow me to grab her?
No, well,
Okay.
poor choice of words.
Ordinances are on the website. The website is the ordinance are currently being codified.
Codified. I saw those, but I'm wondering about the ones that have been codified before. I can't find them.
They're on there. I can show you.
She'll show you after. Do you have any
Okay,
any other
because I wanted
comments?
to- I mean, when we get to the safety portion of this, I have some more
Thank-
comments.
Thank you.
Margaret Opplinger, 251 North Broad Street. I wanted to know if there is a lot coverage percent. So,
Yes is the answer. I don't know the exact
Yes.
measurements. Okay.
It all depends on the zoning district and what your allowable building and impervious coverage is.
Sorry, I was just asking if she knows what the average is for one of the more residential zones.
So if we're looking at, let's see, R1, on a R1 lot, your maximum building coverage is 25, wait, maximum building coverage 25%, maximum impervious surface coverage 35%. So if you don't have enough impervious coverage, if you're over that 35%, you won't be allowed to build a ADU, which many of the lots, I think that's where there's some concern, is that a lot of lots in the borough are very small compared to the
Right.
already existing building and impervious coverage. So there are very few lots that have enough impervious coverage left to build an ADU
Right.
on.
That's why I'm asking, because I live on North Broad Street and that lot that he wants to put that on is small.
Yes, and that is when, in that situation, he would go to the zoning hearing board, which is its own.
Oh, and then they
governing
could just
body.
say, oh yeah, you can build on 80% of the property.
Or they would say no, like they did in that situation.
Okay, the other thing is, I have a question about the ADUs in R1. Are you telling me that R1 cannot be excluded? Because it seemed to be excluded in the ordinances prior.
I think we've already said, or someone's already said, it can be excluded. It's not in this version, but it could be.
That's what she's saying. is
Right.
that
That's what I'm
we're not
saying.
excluding any
Correct.
zones. So
Right.
This would cover all.
Right.
residential
Just one at a time, please. Margaret?
I just wanted to know why it isn't in this version excluded.
Andy, I'm not sure if you want to share, or
Just at,
Or
I
Lexi?
can share,
Yeah.
just previously, like, previously stated, where we didn't feel like there would be a large influx of new ADUs due to the lot coverage. And if people do want to put ADUs on existing lots, it would have to be a pretty generously sized lot with a smaller house. So we didn't see like that would be ruling out too many properties, I guess. We didn't want to limit anyone that potentially had the lot coverage for it.
Okay.
any other
Thank you.
public comment?
Hi, Andrew Cormier, 225 North Broad. So there was a lot of discussion at the last council meeting from council members, from the people in the audience specific to wanting the zoning to be restrictive to R3. It is in the prior draft. It is expressly redlined in this draft. In accessory uses 23-34A, it's literally taken out. I'm curious why there's demand for it from the public, demand for it from council. And it seemed like the robust discussion we had was in favor of it here, and then it's subsequently been removed. It's somewhat surprising. Additionally, this draft was very hard to find. It took me until I walked in here and found it in the binder. It was not available online. It has not been made to the public. Additionally, I do appreciate that there's a 6-foot setback, but I don't think that's sufficient enough in every zone. You're intruding on people's lights and interfering with their property rights by allowing a 25-foot structure, and a further setback is warranted for those reasons. There is a lot of open space in the borough. I know Andy in his presentation said he didn't see there's much, but people really value what they have. Limiting them by putting a large building next to their property is a taking from them. So I'd encourage council to think of it along that way. Another point is, as this process started several months ago, Andy went through and did a survey of the town, and he identified, I think, around 30 properties. Andy, if I have the number incorrect, I apologize. But I think it's sufficient that we, as people in the borough, should see that list. And we should have that information available. If it's expressly designed for those are the express areas that he's thinking of, let's share that information. As it's written, the current amendments to the policy, I don't think it's in favor of what the people of the borough want, and I don't think it reflects what council stated they wanted in the last draft. So I would, my position to you would be to not move forward with this current draft and go back and redline it again to include the zoning discussion that was previously there and further setbacks. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Any other public comment? Please.
and I don't mean to make it last longer. Judith Venice, 310 North Broad Street.
Bingo.
Yep. And in 3 weeks, I'll be moving into my ADU. So I hope my neighbors aren't offended. I hope they like what we've done. But what I really want to ask is you talked about, apparently this is a planning board amendment. And I'd like to know where, as a citizen of the town, the borough, I can get a copy of this so that I can read it and try to understand it. So can you explain to me where is it posted on the?
It's on the, it's on the front page of the Cannon Square Borough website.
Okay.
And it lists departments, and I think it says zoning, municipal codes.
Okay, so
At the
from what-
entire book, it's hundreds of pages long, I
Well,
believe.
yeah, but what I was looking for were the planning board. Okay, that. Thunder. Okay. All right, thank you.
And thank you very much. And to Andrew's comment earlier, it was very late. I mean, we did not get it until this morning, I believe. So I think it was a matter of planning commission and administratively getting it done in online because of issues, I'm sure. Yeah, well, it's no blame, but it was not online, Andrew. Fair point. We didn't see it until today, this morning. Yeah. Please.
Ed Doherty, 712 Mason Avenue. I didn't realize how bald I was, so I looked in this camera. A few of you are property owners here in the borough, other than your personal property. You have rental properties. I myself as well do. And all you're doing is inviting us all to make more money. And transient owners, because that's pretty much what people who rent are, they're not part of the community. They're transient. They come and go. It's a pride of ownership. And unless you make this something that people who want to live here want to be with, I wouldn't do it. It's ridiculous. You can't have people owning a house and renting it out, but renting both out. You have 2 apartment buildings at that point. You don't have a home and a rental for a side income. You have a business. It's ridiculous. Thank you.
Welcome. Any other comment? Any other staff, planning commission comment?
Do you want me to address like any of the questions
Sure.
that were asked?
Sure, please.
So I just wanted to clarify a few things when it comes to why we're amending the ordinance. Currently, ADUs are allowed in every district. So it's not something that we're now allowing that was previously prohibited.
Please let her talk.
The part that you see where it's striked for R3, that was an error where it was not taken out of that one section, but it is taken out of all the other sections of the ordinance. So that was just an oversight issue in the current ordinance. So currently accessory apartments and accessory dwelling units are allowed in every zoning district. The main reason that the height was proposed is because we wanted to give people the option to build accessory dwelling units on top of a garage. This is to really help alleviate some of the parking issues. If people still want to have that accessory home where it's still maxed at a certain square footage and still maxed at a certain bedroom size, they can now put that on top of a garage and fulfill their parking requirements to keep the cars from parking on the street. So that was really the biggest push to increasing the height. Also, when it came to, what was the other part? I'm sorry, you had a,
Andrew?
oh, about the multiple people owning it. I just want to clarify that that is currently allowed in our ordinance. So we're definitely not trying to make it easier for people to purchase properties and turn them into ADUs. We're just trying to have everything written out in the ordinance and spelled out correctly. So, and then also this is to vote on a public, for it to go to public announcement. So this is not voting to approve the ordinance. This is for us to make the announcement for public hearing so we can also get everyone's opinions that way. So this is not a final vote. I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Lexi. Mr. Mayor, comments, council?
Is there an easy way? Are we able to just pull this document out so that we can have it on the website easily so folks can see the difference? Because the it is currently allowed and the changes are very minimal to what's already there. I mean, it's not even 5 sentences or 6 sentences in total. It's the existing ordinance. It's available currently in every zoning district that's residential. Is there a way that we can pull the entire piece and have the red line available on the website so folks can really see the difference?
Yes, and I can do a cleaned up red line because this has multiple red lines from the going back and
Yeah.
forth of changes and everything. So we can get that cleaned up.
The final red line versus the current so that folks can, look at it side by side, I think would be really helpful. Thank you.
Any other council comment?
This has been a lot of work. It's been in planning commission for a long time. A lot of back and forth, pushback in all areas. Lexi's done a wonderful job bringing some muddy pieces up to a better standard. Thank you for that, which is probably why it didn't get online till later today. So we are all just looking at it again.
Is there any objection to putting this on the consent agenda to advertise the accessory dwelling unit ADU ordinance for Wednesday? Thank you. The next item is consider the appointment of Carrie Freeman to the Planning Commission.
Did we say yes?
I just said, does council have any objection to putting this on the, excuse me 1 second. Excuse me. I asked the council, does anyone have an objection to putting this on the consent agenda?
Say it fast.
Do you have an objection?
Yes.
Fair enough. It'll be on the agenda for Wednesday night. It's not a consent item. It's on the agenda. And next item is the appointment of Carrie Freeman to the Planning Commission. Many folks in the room and in the town know Carrie. She's been a resident for 44 years. She'd like to continue to work and support and volunteer in the borough. Carrie is not able to be here tonight because she already had a prearranged trip with her mom, I believe, out of state. Carrie lives on South Washington Street. Most folks know her because for 19 years until 2022, she was the CEO of the United Way of Southern Chester County. I didn't realize she was also the executive director at TikTok Early Learning. She was a middle school teacher in Unionville. That's the only fault there. But board member at CACS, board member for Historic Kennett Square, school board director, just an incredibly involved, in my opinion, very nice and very, very involved woman. She'd like to become a member of the Planning Commission. Andy, the Planning Commission reviewed that, approved it, accepted it. Thank you. Council comment,
I
discussion?
have a very important question. Does anyone know what team she taught on at Unionville Chasford Middle School?
It was a purple team.
I thought so. I had her as a student.
How did she grade you? Are you going to support this or not?
I'm a professor now, so it was always good.
Is there any objection to putting this on the consent agenda for Wednesday? Thank you. And consider the Comcast cable franchise. Kyle?
I can jump into this if you want, because it's more of a technical legal document. So in 1984, to go back in time, the federal government enacted the Cable Franchising Act, which requires that when cable companies, this is cable TV, it's not internet, want to come into a new territory or area, they need a franchising agreement. Part of that is there's a franchise fee that goes to the local community. And so now fast forward all these years later, among the other cable providers we have in the borough, Comcast is one of them. They have a new franchise agreement that's before us. It doesn't change any material terms from any prior agreements we have with them or with any other cable providers. These are highly regimented documents under the FCC. There's only like 2 things we can modify in them. One, they agreed to readily, actually they agreed to readily. It's to make sure it comports with the Right to Know Act put some auditing provisions in. But the other one is just us picking what our franchise fee is. It's anywhere between, ready to blow your socks off, 3% and 5%. That's it. So this one sticks with it's a 10-year agreement. It is modeled after all the other agreements we have with the 5% franchise.
Thank you, Mr. Crotty. Appreciate it. And I believe the fees generated to the borough have certainly been declining with streaming services and people leaving cable. Nick, I'm putting you on the spot. Do you know off the top of your head what those fees are last year? And if you don't, that's fine.
I actually just looked at this earlier during the meeting because I thought it might come up as a question, but it's roughly for Comcast, it's about 8,000 per quarter on the average. They pay us quarterly. So I know we have budgeted 62,000 between Comcast and Verizon, which is our other provider.
Thank you very much. Any council discussion? Any public comment? Please.
Troy Thompson, I guess it's more over to the legal perspective. My townhouse was built about 5 or 6 years ago and have run into quite a few issues with Comcast. Is there anything that this approval can be woven into performance clauses? Give you an example. My cable has been replaced, and I'm talking, my yard's half the distance to council members, and they replace it 3 times. And when I talk to the technicians, they're like, oh, we know we have an issue. And so they're upgrading infrastructure items. And the technician, the last guy I had was there 17 years. He goes, yeah, we can't, what you're asking for is the standard service. He goes, we can't even give that to you because, and he went through the infrastructure issues around Kennett. So I didn't know, is there any ability to do it, or is this just cookie cutter and we're stuck?
It's cookie cutter. Yeah. This doesn't make the borough part and parcel or part and party of any agreements or issues between normal, because part of the complicating part is nowadays Comcast and Verizon and the rest, they don't just provide us cable TV. Excuse me. It's a bundle of cable, TV, internet, and all the other phone usually. So all my guess is probably the infrastructure you're talking about is the internet part of it that takes up most of the bandwidth and that kind of thing. But no, and this is nowhere near that.
Okay.
So
I just want to make sure, because this was 3 months ago. He said, yeah, you should have some alleviation of that. But for the past 2 years, we knew we had a problem in the Kennett borough, but we don't tell customers that.
Sounds like a nice to have, not going to have it though.
Yeah.
Any other comment? Any objection from council of putting this on the consent agenda? Next item is the consideration of the zoning hearing board application for 327 West Cedar Street. Kyle?
We received this application. I'll turn it over to Lexi to kind of go through the details, but our normal practice here, council knows this for everyone in the public. When we receive one of these, we bring it to council. If you want to give an opinion to share with the board, you can. If you wish to not give an opinion, you can also do that. So Lexi, do you want to give a sense of what this is?
Yes, so this is at 327 West Cedar Street. It is Eagle Car Wash and Equipment. They are looking to do about a 3,700 square foot addition. This addition will provide property improvements by eliminating outside storage of their equipment and supplies. The reason for the zoning hearing board application is due to the setbacks. The current structure is existing non-conforming at only 2.5 feet for the side yard with a required 25 feet. They are under building coverage. It's 50% allowed in OI2. They, after addition, will only be at 44%. And they currently are at 100% impervious due to existing non-conforming. But it's only 80% allowed in OI2. So what they're looking for is to get a variance on the allowed setbacks with keeping the addition in line with the current building at 2.5 feet off of the existing property line. That's the property that is in line with the NVF property. So that would go straight back with their addition and, yeah, so that's what they're asking for.
Thank you very much, Lexi. Again, the zoning hearing board is an independent body appointed by the council, but not beholden to the council. They make their own decisions. They have their own legal counsel as well. The council's only ability on something like this is to recommend support, and they can do with it as they choose or not, no opinion, or recommend not approving. Those are the only council's options that we have. Mr. Eastman, Rick Eastman, who's the applicant here, called me. He was planning to be here this evening. He called me about 6:30 and said he could not. He apologized. He could not be here because of an issue that he was dealing with. With that, is there any council comment? I'll hop in. I did speak to him earlier today to try to understand what and why and who and sort of some of that stuff. He employs this zoning hearing application. He needs this in order to stay in the borough, to keep his business in the borough. And it's a car wash supply business. So they supply folks from Pennsylvania, New York, sort of the northeastern area, car washes with the equipment, the materials, the machines that they need to do their business. He employs 13 people. It's a family business, his son, his daughter-in-law, and his future son-in-law, and would love to stay in the borough. The business has been here for many years. If you know the area, it's on West Cypress Street. It's sort of Cedar, sort of an industrial small business area near that, the NVF property. In my opinion, as long as the stormwater, because it's more coverage, as long as the permitting process, Lexi, I guess it's a question to you, would that include making sure that the stormwater issue is taken care of on site?
Yeah, so with his proposed addition, it's actually not increasing the impervious coverage at
Okay.
all. It would be increasing the building coverage. Currently, the lot is 100% impervious. We would still, however, want to see stormwater plans and make sure that everything is in line with the permitting and building process.
Gotcha. I think it's a good small family business. Love to keep them in the borough, that sort of small family business. They do pay, real estate taxes, obviously, and they also pay the services tax and revenue tax. So my suggestion to the borough would be to support the application, but that's it. Other comments, disagreements?
I'll just add that my family rents a garage and is a neighbor in that area, and it's a very industrial kind of area. I think I don't, and if it impinges on anyone, it's the NVF site, which we don't even know what that's going to look like. I support it.
So does anyone in council object? Mike, let me know if I'm doing this right. Does anyone object to asking our council to put a letter of recommendation of support to the application? Any objections? Mike, is that what you need or? Okay, thank you. So this does or does not need to be on the agenda for Wednesday?
It does not.
Okay, thank you. Next item is the approval of bills. Joel?
As stated at the last month's Finance Committee meeting, we reviewed and are recommending the bills paid in the amount of $830,486.24.
Council, any discussion? Any objection to putting this on the consent agenda? Thank you. Approval of the council meeting minutes from the February 3rd meeting. Council discussion?
I have an edit. The current minutes says that Mayor Fedek and Vice President Kakamo attended the commission meeting. It makes it sound like they attended. They didn't attend. The three of us are working together to continue to develop long-range plans for fire and EMS, and only I attended the meeting. That's it.
The only other edit would be that the absent are the last three. It doesn't say absent. Roll call, just as present. No problem.
no worries.
I have one, any other council members? Sorry, Mr. Mayor. I have one edit and two questions. On page 7, Rachel, under deed of correction, 425 East Maple Street. Just could you please note that I recuse myself from voting on that? Thank you. Two questions, Kyle, if I may. Infrastructure Committee, page 1, shared that they've submitted the required pre-request to DEP with borough needs for sewer plant upgrade. And the engineering company is analyzing the results and will send their report soon. Do we have an update on that, or? Thank you.
Yeah, we're having internal discussions about the requirements. There are no shocks to it. There's actually, we would be able to comply with everything except there's an issue with the phosphorus. And we're working on that. We're going to see about dropping our pH and alkalinity to see if we can precipitate some phosphorus out.
Thank you very much, Ron. Kyle, anything else to add?
No.
Thank you. And then I had one other question, if I may, on page 2, under development. Lexi shared the Canada Apartments are close to finishing their project and will soon receive their final certificate of occupancy. Can we get an update? Is that done? Is it entirely approved?
They have received their final building certificate of occupancy. They have not received their final escrow release for land development improvements.
Okay, thank you. Unless there's any other question, is there any objection from council to putting this on the consent agenda? It will be on the consent agenda. And now our favorite part of the evening, public comment. Love to hear any comments not related to items on the agenda. Ask you to please keep it professional, polite, and 4 minutes, please.
I would agree with you on not letting, on the last one. I did not get a chance to get my hand up before you got off of Cedar Street real quick.
Didn't mean to, but you're more than welcome to
Okay.
comment.
My question on that, exactly where is that building located that he wants to do the expansion on? That's my backyard. And I want to know where it is, because if it's on the property that butts up against the NVF property, there's 3 pieces of property there. There's a somewhat vacant property and an old building that used to be the Land Rover repair shop. Across the street is a preschool. And then the rest of the property is mini storage. Is it, if it's on that side of the street, I don't really think I have a problem. But if it's on the other side of the alley, Chestnut Alley, which is my side of the alley, it's a big problem, because that's one whole building that's split up into several different businesses, 2 of which are vehicle repair.
This is 327. And you also, if you're within, Lexi, correct me, this is for everyone's knowledge. If you're within 1,000 feet, what's the, Mike, what's the radius? If
Okay, that's the big, yeah, that's a big open lot right now. That's what I wanted to know.
Gotcha.
Because it's so vague as to what it is.
Gotcha.
And he wants to do that.
And anyone who's close enough, and I forget the exact number of feet, but it's in the code.
Oh, I'll be there.
Oh, for zoning
Yeah.
hearing board, it's 500
It's
feet.
so anyone who's within 500 feet gets a written notice. It's still written, I believe.
Yeah.
And you can become a party to any zoning hearing process, as happened on the ADU on North
I'll
Broad.
be there because it's a small building
Certainly.
that's
It-
there.
Ken, it's the 327 West Cedar. It's that brick building with last building. They're doing an addition above the building and behind it along the NVF property line. So
Yeah.
they're not going any closer to the alleyway.
But I just wanted to find out that, okay, because one, he is, as he says, a car wash supplier,
Mhm.
parts. So pieces of equipment and all that. And I've seen tractor trailers go back there, I guess, to make deliveries so he could take it to his customers. I don't know. I just wanted to know for
Fair enough.
sure where it was.
Anything else?
Because like I said, it's my backyard. None that I can think of, but I'll think about it until between now and Wednesday.
Thank you. Andy?
Unrelated to the discussions tonight, I do want to bring up, I serve on the Planning Commission, also serve on the HARB. Our meetings are public meetings, and I've said this in front of this group before. We've been discussing these issues for over a year at our monthly meetings. They're held the third Tuesday of the month at 5:30 for the Planning Commission, 6:30 for the HARB, if we have an application to review for the HARB. Public is always welcome. I will give them time to listen to our discussions, to comment and make suggestions. We are open to the public. And a lot of the questions have been raised over the last month or two would have been answered in those meetings. So this is not a secret society trying to do something. This is a group of folks who are responding to the wishes of Borough Council to explore topics. And we're more than happy to discuss them in public at our regular meetings. So Rachel generally gets an agenda published either Friday or Monday before the meeting. You can look it up on the website and decide if it's of interest to you. So we welcome folks to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? John, Andy, would you mind passing the mic to John?
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, I see on here that you have an offer on the firehouse, the old firehouse or
Police station.
police station. I believe that you people need to have a minimum. I don't care what anybody else, you have to have a minimum. If they don't hit it, then you're not gonna sell it. And if you're not, I mean, if it was a bare lot, it'd be worth $200,000, just a bare lot uptown. Now that means you're gonna pay $300,000 for a building 3 stories tall? Doesn't make sense. So you gotta have a minimum that you're willing to talk about, not just a negotiation. And the same with this building. I don't know what you're talking about here. Now you're talking about moving this downstairs. I'm saying we move it to the building next door. How many square feet is this building? This whole building?
About 30,000.
30,000, right? Then what I would do is I'd want to preserve this building minus the police station, move the borough building over to the house next door. That would give you about 25,000 square feet. I'd approve 30,000 square feet next door and leave the parking lot the way it is. You wouldn't even notice another building next door. Now you're looking at almost 50,000 square feet that people could do that with. Now, have these people suggested that to you? No. No, they haven't.
We have talked about adding buildings, adding space.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about you adding the building. I'm saying approve 30,000 square feet, not to exceed the length of this building next door. You wouldn't even see it from, the property would remain the same. Except for the parking lot would remain the same. The property would look alike, look good. Not really happy with this thing here. That I got tonight. I'm willing to help you all I can, but you gotta ask me.
Thank you.
All right?
Yep. Any other public comment?
Again, Bill Grubb, 610 West Linden. I'd like to thank Lixie. The light stanchions are down. Thank you very much. The people have ferreted all of the Fergie out of the bases. They're gone for midnight raids. But what about the bases? The cement bases, are they coming out?
They will have to be brought to 36 or 24 inches below grade. So they have removed the lights, but in order to get their final escrow release, they'll have to bring them to 24 inches below grade.
So they're still going to be there?
No, they'll be gone.
They'll be under.
They'll be, yeah.
Oh, underground.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Now, what about the perimeter? They have not cleaned up the perimeter
Of that park.
of that park yet?
Yep, all of that will be cleaned up. That's like one of their final escrow pieces.
Okay, but we found that there are at least 8 different pipes that are sticking out of the ground, which are safety problems. Okay, because they had to anchor down the walls that were around the building. So they're still there. We had one person almost fall over them the other day. out there walking the dogs.
Is that where the sidewalk is in front of the building or at the park?
No, it's at the park.
At the park. Yep, the park is, so anything that you see that's above ground level right now will have to be brought 24 inches below grade for them to get their final escrow release. So it's not
Okay,
the
fine.
final item.
Now, Mr. Fedek and I have had some discussions about the proposal for the parking restrictions on Linden Circle. I've got 7 of the people that are on Linden Circle because you had asked me to get the proposal together and submit it. So do I submit it here at the council or do I
To the
submit it
public.
to you as part of the safety committee?
To the Public Safety Committee, please.
Public Safety Committee, okay? Now, you have the copy of the initial proposal, which was much larger. That was taking in Linden, Washington, and the crossings across Sickle on the Washington side of the house, okay? So has anything been brought up to speed on those?
No, Mr. Grubb, as we mentioned, you've got to bring the order in which you want, what our recommendation to you was that you pick one thing and get started with it, and then we can keep working it out. So if you
Okay.
bring that to public safety, you're welcome to leave it with me tonight. It'll be on the public safety meeting agenda for this month. We'll review it. It would certainly be helpful if you're there to answer questions.
Okay,
If you can't be, it's okay. And then from there, public safety will make a recommendation for council for their next agenda item.
correct. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. And if you want to leave them tonight so we can look ahead of them, you're welcome to do
Well,
so.
I'll allow you to have a look at them because I'll have to make copies of them so they don't disappear.
Or we
okay.
can scan them for you or something, whatever you want.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Charlotte Watson, 523 Magnolia Place. I was talking to Carl more recently, wasn't in the last couple of weeks, Carl, or was it 3 weeks ago, about the sale of the police building. Now, the police building's for sale, and the last vote said no. That was about a year ago or more, because someone here said they didn't want to be renting something back from somebody after they sold it. Now we hear it's for sale, and I'm saying there's a sign, the sign's on it. But we didn't hear the vote up here. That's right. We didn't hear no vote up here. The last vote was no. When the young man stood up and said, I quit my job for this. I'll never forget it. So there's somebody talking from the audience to the table about deals before they're even done. Okay? And I can say that without being slandered. I'll take it to court. Now, the LLC that, also this building, we're hearing, oh, we're selling it. That was said in December 2024. Oh, we're selling it. Okay, we're the public. We're supposed to know the terms, the plans, and everything. We don't even know what you're doing. You're supposed to tell us what your thoughts are, whether you're going to sell this jigsaw puzzle or whether you're going to give us the entire box and sell it. You just can't keep saying we're selling and doing things on your own. We're supposed to know details because it's our money, not yours. It's to benefit the town and get them out of debt. We got money tied up in here, which we never should have went forward with because this is a fiasco, I'll say. Okay? Now the LLC business don't sit right with me. The change of names on that Marshall Street property and will never sit right with me. Mainly because Mr. Norris asked the people, could they pay $100,000 more on a Monday? Then it was sold for that 400 and some on that Wednesday. It was kicked around that maybe the parking spaces might go in there, but no motion was made. And according to John, if he's accurate, the sales slip or the deed, something reflects that. We're not hearing specifics. When I do my business, I try to dot the I's and cross the T's. So we're going to sell it, and then you're going to give away the whole town with it. Now we're hearing that the LLC, almost a year and a half later, I believe, the name has to be changed. That's none of your business. And I'm smell a rat. That's none of your business. That's that couple, not an LLC, that sat up here and say they was buying that building to get that straight with their insurance title company, not you. You got your money. And now you're gonna be worried about the name on the title, on a deed that somebody else owns. That's none of your business, and you people should investigate why that would come here. And I don't think it's just because ST's not on the end of the darn application. Because it said the last comment made last meeting was the LLC was wrong. Get your story straight. You said the LLC was wrong. I don't like it. And I don't like you sitting up here, Mom, looking at me and shutting us down in 4 minutes and rushing Mr. Grubb so we can't even hear a decent exchange and hear what he has to offer. Because I appreciate these people too. They're bringing stuff to us.
Thank you. Kyle, do you want to respond at all to the building?
You don't have to.
I'll just give a couple
know you're not
updates. And
right.
Mike, you can update on what. For our former police station, it's been in the public space going back to December. So when we considered selling it about a year ago, the discussion here was we didn't want to sell at that time.
Please give him the same courtesy that he gave you. Please give him the same courtesy. Please. We can disagree, but let's be professional and polite. If, please, Kyle, go ahead.
So the decision at the time was to not sell because we didn't want to have to rent back for a year. So we waited until we moved into the new building, which we have since done. Chief's done a great job with it. We put it up for sale in December because that's about when we moved. It's gone out through our mailed newsletter. If everyone got those, if you have a PO box, you may not have. If you have a mailbox, you would have gotten this end of the year report. It's in there. It's gone out in our monthly e-newsletter, which is an email newsletter. You're welcome to sign up. It's gone on the last 3 of those, which reaches 6,500 people. It's been on all of the main real estate websites. It's had a sign out front. We have tried, it's in our best interest, everyone's best interest to get the most that we can for that building. We have tried to advertise it through our broker as much as we can. Mike, can you just clarify that the LLC, East 120 Marshall?
Yeah, I was gonna do that because I've got it up and it was on our last agenda and the deed itself, deed of correction itself was there with the meeting materials. There was an error as I noted earlier in the meeting, there was an error when the title company transferred the property from the borough to that entity where title company had listed it on the deed as 120 Marshall LLC instead of 120 Marshall Street LLC. That's what the deed of correction corrected.
But why did it come back in front of us, I think is the question.
Because the original deed was from us to the LLC. So in order to make sure it was correct at the Chester County Recorder of Deeds office, they needed our sign off to make sure that, yes, that's the entity to whom we conveyed the property.
Right.
Any other public comment? Mr. Doherty? Grab the mic if you would, some folks around.
Put out a form to rent a box truck. Now you're gonna sell the property. What, Kyle, can you tell us about what that cost them offering out to them? What's our maintenance?
Nick, do you have a feel for that?
Rather than guess, why don't we have that answer on Wednesday? That's a good question. Any other public comment? Please. Okay. can I interrupt you just, can I ask you to put the mic a little closer? Thank you very much.
Check and see if it's on. Yeah, I don't think it's on.
A little closer. Thank you.
Okay, all right. At any rate, my question is, what are we doing to protect immigrants in the town? Why aren't we a sanctuary city? Can we be? And I would love to hear the elected officials' take on this, what you're doing. Can you tell me what we're doing?
Well, is that your only question?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll answer that.
I'll sit down.
Chief, I guess from a legal perspective, what options and rights do we have?
But I don't think I can answer your question of why we aren't sanctuary city. That's out of my purview.
Okay.
Oh, it's in the purview of the council.
Legally, what are we able to do in terms of the federal government's push in immigrants? Or Mike, is there
Yeah, so if we all remember back to elementary school, separation of powers, so that we are certainly separate from the federal government. They're not using any of our resources to carry out any of their operations under the US Constitution. They have whatever authority they have to conduct immigration control. It's not for the borough to kind of obstruct and interfere with those operations. I think it's what's been said before is we want to make sure the borough remains a welcoming place. We have to obviously comply with whatever obligations under the law that are imposed on us. It does not necessarily mean the borough carrying out any of those operations, because we don't. But we certainly have to respect, otherwise the rule.
and the mayor, forgive me, with the council's concurrence, came out with an equal access pledge a couple of months ago, I believe it was,
January.
which briefly talks about equal access to government services, including emergency services, reporting of crimes, domestic abuse, housing violations, ordinance violations, discrimination, public nuisances, access to government services such as water, sewer, and trash, and certainly access to attend and participate in borough meetings.
Okay, this still begs the question. If ICE comes to this town and picks somebody up off the street, are we going to challenge that? Or do we just let them do that? I mean, I don't know. They did. Okay, I don't think that's right.
I think we addressed it at last month's council meeting.
I'm sorry, I
Um,
wasn't here.
But it's okay. I'll give you the rundown version. The police department, we cannot interfere with federal law enforcement, right? There's no way for us to interfere with that. And I've kind of coined this phrase that we have to have compassionate compliance. Our officers have, as well as us, have taken oaths that we have to uphold the law. And so if federal immigration officers are here and performing their duties, we can't interfere with that. We also do not, for lack of a better word, assist in that. So for example, we do not ask anybody's immigration status, whether they're here as a victim of a crime or if they're stopped for a traffic violation or any other type of contact. If somebody is arrested for a crime as part of their bail hearing in front of the judge, those issues may come up, but our police department does not participate in that. Should the immigration officers advise us that they're going to be at XYZ location to enforce a warrant and they would like us to stand by, we will absolutely stand by. We do not participate in effecting the arrest, but we believe it is in our residents' best interest that our local police department be present when requested. We are additional witnesses to any of the arrests that are taking place. It is good for us to know when somebody's arrested, what their name is, if it's available, so that if we get phone calls and inquiries, which we do. I think last Friday when ICE was in New Garden Township, we were here working on things together. I must have had 25, 30 inbound phone calls within 2.5 hours. So we want to know and have information and have access to that information.
I'm sorry, but that totally confused me.
I don't know. What would you like me to unconfuse?
What I hear you saying is that ICE can come into this town and and take whoever they want. Well, I guess one of my first backup question would be, if you say to have a warrant, does that give our police, I mean, do they have the ability and are they even tasked with saying, okay, I want to see that warrant? before
No.
You take this person?
No, that
Oh.
they're federal law enforcement officers and we cannot interfere with
Well,
what they're doing.
Listen to what I found. And I'm putting this to this council. You can make your own sanctuary type law. And I'll tell you why. Because in Prince versus United States of America, 1997, the Supreme Court held that federal officials cannot force state and local officials to enforce federal law. Now, the way I read that is that it's the feds coming in. And if we were to say, here in our town, we love everyone who lives here and we trust everyone who lives here. And we're going to protect everyone who lives here. Whether you were born in Jebep or Jaboop, we're taking care of you. So I'm asking you, my local representatives, to think about this. Think about how you can make us a sanctuary. And if you can't actually make us, and that includes LGBTQ people too, but Princeton, New Jersey, did something that you might want to consider. Not a year, just about a year.
I am gonna, Ellie, are we okay with time?
And I'll be,
Getting close.
We're getting just, I know it's an important topic, but I'm gonna keep you to the 4 minutes to be fair to everyone else.
am I done?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to tell you what Princeton did. Princeton issues the immigrants that are here on green cards and what, that aren't actual citizens yet. They issue them an ID card that says they're residents that live in that town. So it just gives them, it gives the people who are here and haven't gone through the whole process to become citizens yet, an identification that they're part of something. So the police don't, ICE doesn't hassle them. Well,
Thank
that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen, I think you had a comment or public question or comment. Go ahead. Okay.
One thing, you said something about,
Just
Move-
your name, I'm sorry.
Margaret Opplinger, 251 North Broad Street. You said something about moving everyone downstairs. Well, isn't that like a waste of money? Don't you think you should, like, if you're gonna move somewhere, move to one of those little outbuildings and then tear this part of the building down and build townhouses all over the place or something? I don't know, but I think there's gotta be a better use. This building is in too much of a state of disrepair. You don't think so? I mean, this room looks nice, but you can't control the temperature. Everybody's got their windows open to the outside in January. I'm just saying, I think that there's a better use for this property.
Thank you. Please.
Janet DeFlippo, 444 Birch Street, Kennett Square. I just wanted to talk about the water bill. It seemed high and just wanted to know what the percentage of how much the sewer went up, the trash. And I know you kind of said that the bills were going to go out, Kyle, was going to go out April 1st. So can you tell me when the meters will be read and when?
Sure. So Rob can explain when the meters will get read and kind of what that process is. But to clarify, the water and sewer rates have not changed. So
Okay.
if they went up, there was either A, it's because there was a delay and you had an extra month on that quarter, or B, there was some kind of a leak.
Okay.
So that would be one of the two. So we're happy to let us know. We'll, talk you through it. We'll try to understand what that issue is. Rob, can you kind of talk about the readings process?
Yeah, well, it actually takes two people 2 weeks to do the readings. It's all butt foot. So we had a shortage because of a retirement We've had a shortage of personnel. So it took longer to do the reads. So you actually do have an extra month on this past bill. As Kyle said, there's been no rate change, and there hasn't been a rate change since I've been here, and probably long before that.
And just,
Okay.
Janet, I didn't answer your last part, which was the trash rate. So the trash rate did go up. Nick might know that 4 or 5% for 2025.
Yeah, I think it was actually a little bit more than that. I don't have the exact number, but that increase was strictly to cover the cost of our contracted service provider for the trash pickup.
We can get you that exact number and share it.
Okay, thank you. You said that the bills will go out on April 1st, or is that going to actually be the reading on April 1st?
Now, the plan is to put the bills out on April 1st.
Bills on
So
April.
we want to get back on track with our
Okay.
schedule.
Yeah, that would be nice because I had to come here and pick up my water bill this time because I didn't even get it in the mail.
I think if we're honest and objective about ourselves, is we've done a pretty poor job of managing the water, sewer, and trash bills. That's my opinion, not necessarily correct. Not through any fault or any intention. It's a lack of better technology, because there are systems that you can buy that literally will be, telegraphed into the computer, and bang, there's your usage. The problem with that is there's hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy and put those systems in. They've been on our capital plan for, well, since I've been here, three plus years now. But in fairness, I think we need to do a much better job. And I know Kyle and staff have been working on kind of coming up with a better system within the resources and people we have right now to get it done, not through lack of effort, lack of people and skills and technology.
Yeah, that would be.
Very
That would be
fair.
great, very fair.
Yeah.
'Cause they fluctuate a lot and it makes you wonder what exactly is going on.
Yeah. If anyone has a particular concern about it, high usage that's way higher out of the normal, not just because you had Christmas dinner at your house, but something's crazy, go to Kennett SQ, or help at KennettSQ.org, and say, please look at this issue, and they will get back to you to follow up on that.
Okay. All right.
Any other public comment?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Kathleen, you had something to say?
Yes, I just wanted to follow up on some of the projects that are going on in town. So Rob, can you give us an update on Birch Street? Sorry.
Birch Street should be starting in the next 2 weeks. We had to give Pico a chance to finish with the gas lines and the services, and then they're moving in to move the poles for us. But they are going to start mobilizing. The contractor's going to start mobilizing within the next 2 weeks.
And then back in the fall, we talked about the parking garage needed an electrical update.
Yeah,
Where are we
there
on that?
was an allocation of $200,000. We did put out the bid. When the bids came back, they were double that. So we were hoping to carry it over and have more money reallocated for it. But it was allocated in other places.
Without getting into a back and forth with everyone, the answer to that is yes, it's very low. We're struggling this year. Kathleen?
But I thought I'm just gonna circle back around because when we had this conversation, there was an insurance issue coverage for the parking garage, that being open wires.
The insurance company did come in and look at it, and there was a problem with the way the stormwater came down, and we repaired that. And there was also an issue on their list for the electric.
But we don't have a plan. With that.
It's just a case of knowing that we need to do it and not having the funds to do it. But it's definitely planned, but it's going to have to be grants or increasing fees or doing something. So we're working on it.
Thanks for being here. I love the back and forth and kind of hearing what's on your mind and giving you the answers, some of which you accept, some of you, at times don't accept it. I think the council strives, the entire council staff, mayor strives to be approachable, open, transparent in every regard. Listen, we screw up all the time. I mean, we make mistakes, no question about it. But it's coming up and realizing you've made a mistake and kind of moving on from there and doing the best you can after that. But I love the banter and the back and forth and the questions. Some of my colleagues might think I'm crazy, and they'd be right. But I think it's a great back and forth, and we owe you answers to those questions. So thank you very, very much. Wednesday night, March 5th, this coming Wednesday, March 5th, 7 o'clock. It's one of those meetings that if you have the time, it would be great also to come out. We'll have the main meeting afterward, but it's one of the most important parts of the year in terms of recognizing the folks that literally strap on a gun and go out to protect us, in spite of, what they risk every single day. We'll have the award ceremony for the police officers. And we'll also have the Borough Employee Award. They don't strap on a gun, but they have to deal with us 7 yahoos as well as the 6,000 people that live here. And we just want to respect and appreciate them as well. And then the workshop session at the end of the meeting is an important one also, related to emergency services, both police as well as fire and EMS. And we've asked Chief Holsworth as well as Chief McCarthy of the fire and EMS company to please come and share with us where we are now, kind of bigger picture, where we are now, what the issues are that are going on, where we need to be looking, and then kind of what are the bigger issues out in the future that we should be planning for, thinking about, kind of challenging ourselves on. So we'd love to have that. It'll certainly be interactive with questions from anyone as well. Thank you very much for coming out. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, really.